Hello and welcome, everyone. Good evening and good morning for those joining us from the other part of the world, like Jaspinder and Harpreet. Welcome, everyone, on our weekly LinkedIn Live sessions. And this time we are discussing how are educational institutions, universities, e learning providers increasing admissions with the metaverse? Quite an interesting live. This is the second time that we are addressing universities, academicians, people working in educational institutions, and trying to engage the Gen Z. Student engagement has become quite a challenge now in 2024. And being the admissions season right now as we speak, we thought why not talk about it and see how can the metaverse help us all. To discuss it, we have with us Harpreet Singh, CEO and co-founder ibentos, Jaspinder, who's the co-founder and CMO of ibentos, and our very own Rahul Sethi, founder and metaverse expert, Metaverse 911. First of all, it's a great pleasure to share this stage with Harpreet and Jaspinder when talking about education and educational institutions. Having worked with, IIT Kanpur, BITS Pilani, Amrita University, and so many educational institutions in North America and India, even with CBSE you have worked with. I want to understand when education leaders are coming to you, what challenges, Jaspinder, are they pointing out? Why are they opting for the metaverse already as we speak?
Hi, thank you for this opportunity. Um I think, Vandana, they have a lot of things that we talk about with universities, but if I stick to admissions, uh, what every institute is looking at is increasing the number of enrollments. That's number one for everyone, right? There are a lot of institutions that have already, very good ranking, and they don't have any problems in admissions. But there are some courses, where they're struggling, or there are some branches where that are struggling. Not all branches have an equal opportunity. So admissions is one number of enrollments. Uh, See, admission time is that one critical time for any university, whether they're doing domestic or international enrollments. It is that time where you want to give your best and you want to engage the students in your best possible manner. But you also expecting the flow to be very high, the volume to be very high, right? So you have to be planned and you have to be very innovative. How do you cater to their needs? How do you present yourself as an institute to the students in a very, very impactful manner? Because everybody else is also doing it, right? Of course, as an institute, you have a ranking, you have, the students know about the programs and how good the university or the college is. But at the same time, you are competing with a whole lot of institutions and you want to stand out. While so there are a lot of things that actually an institution has to do simultaneously at one time, right? And it's not easy to stand out, to have a lot of volume, and even in spite of the volume you want to cater to each student in the best possible manner. You also want to go to an extent of personalizing their experiences, right? How do you do all of that in one go, right? So technology comes in there, where it helps you not only manage that volume very efficiently, but also personalize those experiences, right? And then stand out. I very strongly believe in one thing: saying that we are a tech institute or tech savvy or tech first institute is one thing, and actually implementing technology and saying it aloud in your actions is
Absolutely.
altogether another thing, right? So that is what should be the approach, and not just saying it.
Absolutely. Saying that's very correct, Jaspinder, and we were discussing it last evening, that how colleges, educational institutions are ready to offer courses today on the metaverse. But do you have a metaverse of your own? Can your students actually log in to your metaverse campus and see what you do? Whereas institutions like BITS Pilani, who have made their convocations happen in the metaverse, there are institutions like Amrita University, as you said, and indeed we'll discuss them in this LinkedIn Live. Harpreet, I want to understand from you how have the experiences of these universities been, and what kind of impact have they seen?
So I think we have seen some drastic results. right? I mean, especially, if you talk about admissions, right? All marketing campaigns boil down to one thing, that we need to have right traffic, right? And all those campaigns are being done on all the digital platforms like Google, Facebook, Instagram, right? So I think with the AI now, right? We really want that the mundane work should not be done with humans, right? We should be doing more smarter work, or more work which requires more personalizations. So I'll just give you an example here. Let's say you've got 1,000 plus students coming to your website, right? If you have to cater those 1,000 students on the appointment basis with your live counselors, it's a nightmare, right? I mean, you cannot. How many counselors you can actually have, right? But with technology, with AI, with metaverse solutions, with innovative solutions, there are ways, right? So what we have in our kit is that we have AI based counselors as well, which can actually filter first or second layer as well, right? It can act like a eligibility calculator, which is very immersive and two-way,
Interesting.
right? So imagine you are talking to a AI counselor, and you are say, test my eligibility, and the AI based counselor can actually eliminate the students whom institution doesn't want, right? And it's gonna save them their time by leaps and bounds, I would say, right? So I
Absolutely.
personally feel that there is a lot of changes we are seeing with the solutions, right? We have been working with some top brands in their own category here, and you know three E's, as I have always mentioned, that one is how engaging it is, whether we can improve the enrollments or not, and whether we can actually inculcate the e-learning in the right way or not. So all three E's, I think, can be catered with the immersive technology, right? So I think institutions have
Perfect.
already started. It's just that I would say there is a lot in this industry happens, that who does it first? Who does it first? People keep on waiting as well. But I think things are moving now, and we have been signing up with a lot of institutions. And I
Yes.
see the next, year or two, I don't see that, the institutions would be able to skip this part. They have to be the part of this immersive technology if they really want to keep themselves ahead of the other institutions.
Absolutely. Rahul, you keep visiting
Very good.
educational institutions
Yeah,
to talk about the metaverse. I want to understand when professors, academicians, deans are calling you for such sessions. What mindset do these educational institutions come from? Are they willing to implement? Are they looking towards it? Are they understanding the impact? As Harpreet said, it's about who does it first. They are waiting for others to do it, test the waters, and then we'll dive in. What's
sure.
your opinion? What's the
I'll,
impact
I'll
like?
touch upon the I'll touch upon the aspect of where Harpreet left. So, say 10 years back, colleges didn't have a great website, and so, or 15 years back, they didn't have a very very good website, and they started working on website. What they were putting on the website was what they have done, because you can really go put anything on the website. You have to have something very reasonable, something that should really resonate to what students and their parents want, and answer the questions. Then over the period of time, all of these aggregators came up, and aggregators now go and organize this physical fair, sometimes virtual fairs, so and so forth. That also has happened in the last 5 years. Virtual fairs were not happening 15 years back. They've just started happening 4 or 5 years back. Yeah, COVID accelerated them. COVID made it look very serious business. You know. Now comes to the third aspect of things, where what colleges are now doing with how ibentos is working with so many institutions across the world,
Yes.
is going and talking to them, sensitizing them that, listen, this generation now and going forward needs a better platform, better experience, things that can be done easily, things that can be communicated very easily compared to how you could do that on a PPT, Zoom, or a Meet. So what was my recent college I went to is IMT, the one in Ghaziabad. Institute of Management Technology, and so I was there for sessions with the PGDBM last year, postgraduate students. And what I was told is very interesting. Professor Ruchi actually told this to me, that most of the folks that are sitting here are all like 90% above kind of CGPA guys. Okay, these are top of the line talent, and companies who come to IMT are top of the line companies. So you're looking at really talking to these people who are very well aware of what's going on. The question is that all of those folks, why were they there in the metaverse in first place? Why is it that in my class everybody was so connected? They were all listening into me. They were all, even after the class, standing out in for their turn to experience all of these bits Pilani I showed them. I showed them all the other work that Abentos has done in the education sector. They were all zapped, and they were all, in fact, the professor, even I, when I spoke to her, and I can say that publicly on the platform too, that one of the things I told her is that we should set up a meeting with some director, somebody who is a placement director, somebody who's a marketing director, or the dean, whoever is sort of more appropriate, for us to come over and explain to them that, listen, next time when you're actually doing, and they already have a 360 on their website, by the way. So they have a 360, they have a website, which means they are working on the experience. Colleges with the likes where I have been to to the NEET in Greater Noida, Bennett University, NIT, IIT, Amity, Manav Rachna, are a few, the one that I've been personally and I've sat down with all the senior folks. All of them, they're only calling us because they are very interested in the metaverse. Now, education sector, what they need to learn is, and what really Harpreet mentioned on that, is to not sit on the fence and sit down and think what is it that you're doing to enhance the experience of the students and the parents of students. The most
Absolutely.
recent one last week was the Singhania Institute. I'm forgetting the full name, Singhania Institute, where I was doing the webinar with the parents who are now launching Bachelor of Design, and that Bachelor of Design has got an immersive, thing in it. In fact, I'm one of the mentors on the board of that program, to decide to design that program for the students as to what all should be there. The thing is that when when institutions are looking at launching Bachelor of Design, then Harpreet, what you're saying, in the next 1 or 2 years every college will have to have a metaverse. There is no doubt I have. And if they don't have, they're sitting on the fence. Somebody else will do it, and somebody else will do it, somebody else will take all the students. End of the day, it's ultimately about student acquisition, right? Institution also needs student, and hence they run the institution. Yeah.
Right. And I'm really glad to see the active participation by our audience. Manoj Jyoti is saying universities leveraging the metaverse can offer virtual campus tours. And of course, virtual campus tours is actually where we are going to dive next into this LinkedIn Live. And we are going to showcase how a metaverse campus looks like, how AI integration happens, and how a student gets engaged during the admissions. We have Miss Manjula asking us share how feasible to build the AI coaches in terms of price and how easy to adapt are they. So we'll address that question first and then move to the metaverse. So Harpreet, if you would like to take that up.
Harpreet, you seem to be on mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So, thank you, Manjula, for your question. I would like to say here that building AI coaches is no more a rocket science, right? All we need is the right, knowledge which we want to put inside the brain of the AI counselor, and uh, keeping it a little immersive that it doesn't look like a standard chatbot. So we will be giving a 3D avatar along with that knowledge. I think we can set this in 15 to 20 minutes, right? AI coach can be set in 15 to 20 minutes. Like that's how fast we can do it. And if you can test it to and fro, improve it over a time. So maybe 3 to 4 hours is a time where you can ready to roll up, right? And again, as you talked about the pricing, it is very easy on the pocket, right? Anybody can adapt it. right? It's no more that only, few segment of the industry can adapt it. Anybody can adapt it with I would say OpenAI in a very different avatar in this years time. Technology is getting cheaper, innovation is getting faster, so all those things are going towards that. Technology becomes easily accessible to everyone. You will
Yeah.
be surprised to see that if I talk about the OpenAI, that's the only company which has a paid model from like at the very beginning of the launch of OpenAI, right? And that too, which was very cheap on the pocket, I would say. Yeah,
Amazing. I think now it's time to actually showcase our audience. What does a metaverse campus look like, and how can your student be engaged? So I would just share the screen, and Jaspinder and Harpreet request you to take everyone through them. So this is what the student journey looks like and how it begins. So over to you.
yeah,
Yes, so, Vandana, so there are
yeah,
so the screen that you're sharing right now is a metaverse that we are going to experience. This is usually made to sit on a university's website. So imagine a university page where you're talking about a particular faculty, or it's an admission page, and then you ask students to dive right into a 3D experience or an immersive experience. The problem that we're solving here is that universities, have um, they have a lot of traffic on their website during admissions time, right?
Right.
But how do we utilize that traffic in the most effective manner? They also have, high bounce rates. You know,
Correct.
so we can actually, with this kind of a solution, bring the bounce rate drastically down. Anyone who is looking at a website 2D page, as compared to that, if a student is looking at a 3D immersive experience and they're going inside that experience, the bounce rate actually comes down. And in that
Absolutely.
experience, because this is students, these are the people who are most spending most of their time in gamification, in games. So we gamifying the entire experience, and helping them understand more about the institute through that immersive experience. Do you want to share your
Absolutely.
screen again, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah, so this could be an integration. Now, I would also like to mention that you could have an impactful entrance with a digital twin of your institute, or you could also pick up a template with us, and a lot of templates are available. So this is, for example, one template that will have give you lots of branding. It will give you lots of banners where you can put up your logos and your messaging, and then we can define the rooms. For example, as you see in this video, we have faculty, webinars, counseling, and there's programs. So basically what we're trying to do, Vandana, is think from the perspective of a student. Think
Hmm.
about their plight.
With,
They are
yeah.
looking for admission, they have deadlines, and they have so many options, and they have so many websites, and these websites all have 100 plus pages. So we cannot expect these students to go through each page digging for more information, which is why they do a lot of in-person events as well. Universities, colleges, they go ahead, meet people, counsel them in person, so that they can take out that they can deliver that information to them, right? Now, this is the admission platform, which means that it has the right kind of information that a student needs to know. Everything about the programs that are available, the admission fees, the deadlines, they have all related webinars, any content that the institute has generated around it, everything about the faculty that they want to know, how good the faculty
Yeah.
is, what is their experience like, everything on one platform, right? And then you also have a counseling session section where you can go book your appointments, meet in person. So let's go and explore these areas uh, with our videos.
Absolutely. I think we also have a few students who are joining us, and one such student has commented that as a BDES student, virtual campus tours are essential for us to understand the amenities provided by a potential campus to consider them. So, I mean, if the student speaks for themselves, I'm sure this is something which every educational institution is a must have for. We always say metaverse is a good to have and not a must have. But I think in this case, it's quite the opposite. Also, I would request everyone who's watching us to also kindly repost the LinkedIn Live so that the people in your network can also understand why this is required, especially students who are watching us. I'm sure it will reach out to your faculty, the conversation. So please drop a like and repost the LinkedIn event. Moving on with the showcase, next we have the faculty area. And as you said, meet the faculty option, Jaspinder, you were talking about. I think let's experience how it would be. And please feel free to explain it to our audience.
Right. So we have an entire faculty kiosk where you can have the team members of your institute, and these team members can be very interestingly portrayed in terms of in terms of avatars, and they can come out, they can speak, they can share their experience with students, give the introduction. uh, so all of that can be done, and with in one area it could be also program specific, right? So like I just mentioned, that you could have uh, you know all the faculty of a program or all the deans and professors put here, and they can talk about themselves, they can talk about their experience, the university experience, and what to expect when you join the institute, right? So all of that can be done in a very interesting way.
Also, I think what you see right now is a dedicated kiosk to the the top faculty. What we are gonna see now in the next screens, right? How a different faculty can be given a booth as well. For example, you might have a school of engineering or school of science or school of design, whatever, in one particular university. We will just showcase in this counseling area how beautifully those can be
Absolutely.
weaved together, right? So let's see that. Okay, so let's see this one. So if you see, there are different booths here. So imagine this is a small expo of the institute itself, right? So depending upon the course you are interested in or the school you are or faculty you are interested in, you are going there. For example, you can see faculty of administration, faculty of technology, different booths are there. And every booth is now with a AI avatar, which I talked about earlier,
How is
right?
your science program better?
Students choose to study with us because our science faculty excels with distinguished professors, cutting-edge research, and state-of-the-art facilities, providing students with hands-on experience and industry partnerships.
Do you offer scholarships?
Students are automatically considered for the university scholarship based on their scores. Students with an average score of 95% or above are entitled to a scholarship of $15,000. All students who have scored between 80 to 95% are offered a scholarship of $10,000. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Right. So this is what I was talking about. The basic, counseling can easily be done with the AI counselor. And on the booth itself, you can have brochures, what you see on your screen, right? So you don't have to, send them on their mails and all. People can just come. They can even send the inquiries, book the video meetings with, the actual counselors as well, right?
Great.
You can send the
We have a query
inquiries.
coming up, Harpreet. Sorry to cut in, but we have a query coming up by Ms. Garima Singh, who is asking, is it only for WebGI or mobile, and web version is also available to test this metaverse?
Yeah, so we have a mobile version, we have a WebGL version, and this can be extended to completely immersive on your Oculus or Apple Vision as well. So all the formats are available. It completely depends on how an institution wants to, you know, cater to their end customers. But all the formats, starting from a web-based integration, extended to a mobile application, then taking to the next level with Oculus or a VR-based experience. All those experience are available with the platform. And I'm glad
Most of the
that
cities,
Yeah.
But most of the times, I think, Harpreet, the people would actually be more keen on utilizing it on the web. What was the number of last? What was the number of people, the students and the parents visited the fair that you did in the first week of July? What was that number in total?
So I think
Just so.
we did a recent career again admission fair with one of the top consultants in India. We had in 2 days touched around 10,000 students, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's no way colleges or the universities cannot touch that scale if they're not seeing this kind of
And Rahul,
technology as a role
when
player.
I'm saying 10,000 students, I'm not talking about in general students. They are specific to the category of science and liberal arts, right? So
My
I mean
God.
that's where we see that there are opportunities, huge opportunities to curate content, to curate users accordingly.
I think what we are going to do after this particular live is at least to the 10 plus large colleges, the tier 1 colleges where I've been, some by some way or the other, I've had an opportunity to go there. We should send this particular link to them. At least those are the guys who know me. And most of where I went is always through associate deans or the deans or the deans of the college. I mean, if not the chancellor and those kind of people. Uh, but I think this is something which definitely I'll personally give them a call and have them see this. I mean,
Absolutely. That would be amazing.
yeah, yeah, Jaswinder, yes.
I think on that question of WebGL and other interfaces, I would like to mention here that a lot of universities and colleges also travel abroad, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
So the VR experience comes handy at that point in time. If you're traveling, for example, you are in Indian university, you're going to Dubai or you're going to Africa or some other country, and you're bringing students to your country, to your institute. There you can take the VR headset experience and ask students to experience the campus.
Hmm.
So that could be
Absolutely
a value addition.
incredible. Incredible. There's no doubt. There's a college in Rajkot. This is the college where I'm forgetting the name of this college. It's medical college, and they've been wanting me to come over there and speak to the medical students about Web3 and the metaverse. I was very surprised when I saw at least 10% or more of the students in that college is actually from most of them from Central Africa,
Yeah.
not even South Africa, Central Africa, West Africa, Nigeria, and all those
Hmm.
places, Central African Republic, the Zambia, and those kind of places. Which, I mean, these are countries which are really far away. I've been there, so I know they're very far. They're still very far from here because you have to go through Addis Ababa, and Addis Ababa you have to lay over, then you go there. It's not easy to break flights. The question is that those students have found a place in Rajkot to study in Gujarat. So I think the colleges and the universities, wherever they are, and I think the ones who are literally wanting to grow are the ones who would opt this
Yes,
technology
yes,
faster.
absolutely.
I
Because
mean,
even
having a campus, yeah, yeah, just
no,
after you.
even when you're putting up a WebGL build, when you're showing your campus experience on web-based format, you are actually opening your college experience to students all over the world. They can actually come and enter and experience things. And this is, I would like to mention here, very different from a 360-degree experience that
Oh,
college institutes
absolutely.
have already put on their. So there is a reason why they have put a 360 experience on their websites, right? But this is like getting into that experience and looking at the
Absolutely.
buildings and everything like you're inside. So this is highly immersive and it gives a very strong sense of what the institution feels like. And you can actually meet other students inside. You know,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly. I mean, I'm also thinking that AI would take a point at some point. Say, for example, if there's any university wants to explore this idea, take the students' testimonials of how they have learned and what they have gotten from this university, put that as a testimonial data into the LLM model within AI. Let the new students actually ask them, the students, previous students, of what they, and so the AI intelligently answers and honestly answers. This
right.
Yeah.
AI does not make up things because it's a very, very nicely done LLM based on a data that's provided, not like a generalized data around the world. So imagine that you could have your past students, come as an avatar, holographic sort of an avatar where they speak about the college. Then new students can actually go and talk to them. There are going to be companies who have had, lots and lots of hiring done from those companies. You can always put some videos out there. It's impossible to do it on a website. It's not possible. The engagement time, Harpreet, I would like to ask you that question on the 10,000 students. What's the average engagement time that you see from a tech perspective, since it's a highly scalable infrastructure for colleges? What's the engagement time that you saw this time when you did this large event?
So I think, Rahul, it is totally depends on what was the motto of that particular event,
Uh-huh.
right? So what we see is when they are generally the admission events, right? They are to the point, right? Students are looking for whether they are eligible for this. They are looking for the quick counseling, and with these multi university fair, the student wants to hop on to one to another to another to another, right? But still overall, what we see, even if it is a 3 hours or 4 hours or the whole day kind of a stint, I have seen students spending like 1 to 2 hours also
Oh
on the
my God,
platform, right?
that's huge.
Whereas when you're talking about engaging on a university website only, the bounce rate is too high. Trust me,
Hmm.
they are going to explore for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and that too when they are lost in the kind of content which a university website has, which is not relevant to him. Because a university website content would not only be for the prospective students, that would be for existing students. I mean,
Hmm.
so many things would be there where he might get lost, right? I would still say the university websites are still, not to the level, or they should be in a way, right? I mean, still I would say very much similar to what we used to see in 2020 or something like that, right? Maybe older than that as well.
Right. And this becomes much more relevant when it comes to universities extending online courses or distance learning courses or e-learning service
Yeah.
providers, portals like Upgrad that are giving literal diploma degrees. Students are getting diploma certificates, MBA certificates from institutions that they have never even visited once. How
100.
ironical it is that you are a graduate from so and so university, but you have never met a professor, you have never visited that college.
So
Once you enter the metaverse. Yes. Jaspinder, over to you on how e-learning providers and distance learning courses can be enhanced with this.
no, absolutely, Vandana. I think you're absolutely right. We are moving ahead with technology when it comes to education sector, but we need to be moving a little more fast, right? Because we have adopted distance learning programs because there is a huge demand for it. There are cases where students want to learn distantly, but we can actually give them a wonderful experience also. It does not have to be done in isolation. Why not create a metaverse campus for them, for example, that they can log into every day? They can do all their classrooms sessions there. They can meet their friends there, peers, and other students there. They can interact with their faculties. They can have everything that you doing on a meeting platform, or screen sharing, meeting interactions, collaborations. Everything is possible now on metaverse, right? So this is a very important use case because distance learning programs, be it online courses, be it homeschooling, the main component that can be added and made, these programs can be actually made live, is interactions, real time interactions, as if you are there in person. And you don't
Hmm.
need VR headsets to achieve this. You can do this on laptops as well.
Absolutely. I think that's a very relevant point because the moment you put out the term metaverse, people start associating that you need a hardware. All my students don't have an Oculus. It's completely browser based. It's as simple as putting up a pop up on your website that will redirect a student to a metaverse of your campus. We were also talking about virtual classrooms, Jaspinder, that how, webinar rooms and webinar zones, I'll quickly project it on my screen as well. If we can quickly shed some light on how these virtual classrooms and how a webinar zone in the metaverse itself can serve purposes like virtual webinars in the metaverse with professors, students meeting as avatars, and even the international student exchange based activities that are happening in the metaverse. So, over
So,
to you.
uh, Vandana, when we're talking about admissions, I would again stick to that topic. When we're talking about admissions and we're talking about an admission experience, we're talking about having all important components that a student needs in one place, setting them, presenting them on a platter to the students. And
Hmm.
events and the webinar libraries are an important part because all institutions spend a lot of time in sharing information. It could be an old information you have shared or created content 1 month ago, 2 months ago, 1 year ago, that is still relevant for admissions. You can actually create that kind of a library inside Metaverse. You can also have live events inside the
Hmm.
Metaverse, right? So once the student has come into your admission environment or experience, they get all of these important components in one place. So they don't get distracted, they get all focused information, and they save on their time. They also leave thinking that, wow, now this was different, you know, because ev- most of the students, most of the universities are still, stepping up to this level. So you give a very good impression of, being tech first, right? And you also are giving a very loud message of how the experience is very important for you. The student experience is very important for you.
Absolutely. Having talked about the metaverse, coming to the virtual event platform, which is also being leveraged by a lot of education consultants and universities to hold career fairs at this time of admissions, especially. So, Harpreet, if you can also take us through the platform and see what beyond metaverse are universities using to leverage in terms of admissions.
I just got this very interesting. I was just looking at that while we are talking. I get this message from Mr. Rajendra Deshpande, who runs an institute in Mumbai, and he sent me a message with all information, including his card. Okay, and he runs this thing very interesting called Business Value India. Looks like that he's also into the same thing that we're talking, like a consulting sort of a business. We should really talk to him. I sent him a message. If you're listening in, Mr. Rajendra, uh, I'll definitely give you a call after this thing. Yeah, interesting. A lot of people here and there. See, the thing is, people are not aware. See, the challenge is, if you worked for Amrita, if you worked for Bits Pilani, worked for them, people saw it, they liked it, and they liked it, and they went. What they have not understood, and we haven't gotten is the mind share. So there is going to be people in the education sector who has to talk more about it, in my view. Okay,
Absolutely.
technology people can talk about it, but we got to have people in education who has to talk about it. So, in my view, everything that you just know, expo thing that you've shown, it's a very simple project, very very simple. Rather than having a website, you have a walkthrough. Rather than having a 360, you make your own building. So at least there is a look-alike kind of an infra. And then thirdly, there is students whom you're targeting is Gen Z. They love doing this. Rather than like Harpreet said, they go to website, bounce rate is too high, you're spending lakhs of rupees or crore of rupees building your websites. Nobody's going there. So what's the point of going and building a nice website? Nobody goes there. Actually, you could have this particular, thing running across the year, because what we also have to understand is that the immersive experiences, when you give it to people, they never for one day or 2 days. That's a wrong thing to do, in my view. To start with, yeah, you can all always do it for 2 days, but then you have to do it consistently. So when you do consistently, then is when people will come back. So I do one is an admission fair. Tomorrow I can always go do some kind of a internal sort of an event. Third day I can have some kind of a concert. Fourth time I can go do this convocation. There are 6 7 10 activities I do across the year. So that's how I think people will get used to it, and that's the reason why we do this LinkedIn lives all the time, because we really want people to understand that this is not something which is a very very sort of a gloomy picture, or I've spent 5 years building something in immersive tech. You could do that. How much time does it take, by the way? Maybe just been there. How much time do you take to design a metaverse for a college?
No, so are you talking about how much time does it take to push it live, kind of a thing? How much time does
Correct.
it
Yeah,
take
yeah. So I'm a college. I come to you and say, listen, I'm going to do an admission fair. I want my standard template from you. You put that the stand template, put a couple of those, booths for me, and have some AI trained on it. I give you some PDFs. These are my 10 programs. Doing admissions for. How much time does it take for a college to do that?
to
Let's say a
generally
ballpark.
um, 4 to 8 weeks?
That's all. 2 months. But then the next year when they do it, the same activity, or twice they do it every year, next time, how much time does it take?
Once the platform is set, then you don't need time. Then you just need to,
Update the content.
update the content and you can go live. So it's
So,
just the first
yeah.
time and it just takes, 4 to 8 weeks kind.
That's it. So within 1 month, you have the standard thing ready. The next month, you work cross, making sure that it's lined up to your branding, and you want to recheck things and verify. But then 6 to 8 weeks, say, 6 to 8 weeks, I'm able to kind of really change the way I bring people into my college. That's it. And colleges, I still
Yeah.
sometimes think about it. End of the day, is it not about students' experience? End of the day, I think that's what they do all the time. There's no disconnect. The only disconnect, or rather the only thing that we have to fix up here, is to make sure that we showcase all of this tech to them again and again and again and again, and then take their mind share out of that old tricks of SEO and other things, to saying, hey, you can always bring people from SEO, but the bounce rate is 80%. So you had 100 people come to the website, 80 never stayed for more than 30 seconds. What's the point? Here is saying, Harpreet, 1 hour to 2 hours. That's a
Right.
big number.
I
It's
think
a very big number.
Rahul, when we say that we do it over again to take students' attention, I would like to mention here that students are very smart. You don't need to do it 5 times, 10 times to get their attention because this is their world, right? You are actually presenting information in their language. They would be faster than the time that you've taken to build it. They will be everywhere, so it's their favorite kind of content, and you're delivering all the information about your institute very smartly in their world, right? And I would also like to mention here that we have some solutions when it comes to admissions. We have different solutions.
Mm-hmm.
One is there's a long term kind of a metaverse experience. You keep it up live for a year, for a few months, for students to go inside experience, have conversational avatars that can take care of their queries, show them around and everything. Then there is a solution that you need for closing the deals as well. Maybe you want to do events. So, and you don't want that kind of gamification. You want to keep it a little, you know, uh, simpler. Then there is another solution for it. I can maybe showcase that as well.
Why not?
Sure.
Let's do that.
And around admissions, we also have a multi-university platform wherein a lot of universities come together. These are
Mm.
generally used by education consultants, and I'm very proud to mention that most of the uh, you know top education consultants in India are using ibentos platform for admissions
Very
because
nice.
they're getting an
Congratulations.
ROI, right? Because we're not only talking about student experience. We're When the student gets a good experience, that's when an institute gets a better ROI. So we're talking about we I am talking about institutes that have cut down their cost by almost 80% with these kinds
My
of
God.
platforms, and increased their admissions by almost 4 to 5 times, right? By just using these platforms.
And these are all your multi-year, multi-tier contracts that you have with the colleges and
Absolutely.
institutes, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
So, in
they
fact,
and what Jaspinder said. Lots of universities come together and do a fair. Those are called IPs. And these IPs, generally, what they're doing still is they're still doing it through the same physical model of going to the hotel or someplace, bringing students in. Plus, they have got some websites, some 2D content brochures, and all of that stuff. Imagine empowering a consultant who is bringing in people to 5 countries, to maybe 10 universities. And for that individual, if such a thing is implemented, Jaspinder, I vouch on what you said. 80% savings, 50% growth. 100%, very logical. It's a common
Five
sense.
times, 5 times growth.
5 times, my God, 5 times the
And
value.
this is not something, this is my clients experiencing it, right? So once you start
Incredible.
using the platform, you you have to use it because that's the ROI that you get. And that's the purpose of creating it, right? There is a need in the market to be able to achieve these goals. If you,
But the thing is, it's no more, Jaspinder, it's no more really a national sort of a thing. What you're really working on is very international, matchmaking. So it's a matchmaking end of the day. So you got this student in Nepal who wants to go study in India, or an Indian student wants to go study in the US. The US student wants to go study somewhere in South America. South American wants to come study in India, or whatever. The thing is, there is always these are those silos there. So each of these consulting companies is a silo. They can be a world in themselves, but they are still silo. The silos are still using the same old tech. What's really changed is the people whom they are engaging is not okay with that, so with that old tech. They need a change. They need more engaging content. They need better experience. All of that to bring together metaverse is a phenomena. you know you don't do it, you just don't get that kind of engagement. That's it. I don't think so. By listening to what you're saying, there's any doubt I have is that if you don't implement metaverse, you really aren't getting the kind of value that you must get from the efforts that you're putting to acquire students, whether in India or in your nation or outside of your country. And this also brings me to one more aspect of it, because after that, I want to also you to show the things that you've done, because I know there's enough and more things that you've done. Um, Tell me one thing, Arpit, maybe I ask you this question that I implemented within 4 to 6 weeks. Once I finished my admission thing, does it mean that I can still go edit my templates on your platform, since it's a sort of a more of a SaaS platform? So tell me a little bit about that, and let other people also sort of understand from the horse's mouth, like I say, as to what do they do after that event.
Of course. So I think going back to the same thing, triple E, engagement, enrollment, and e-learning, right? So enrollment is where the admissions happen, right?
Hmm.
Now comes your engagement or e-learning. So the same platform you can open. Let's say there is a area which was logged at that point of time when the admissions were focused. That
Hmm.
engagement can be with your existing students as well, right? You can bring them to the workshops, you can bring them to the classroom, you can bring them even to mock pitches or mock interviews, train them over there, right? That comes for the the engagement part. The third part we
Very
can
good.
talk about the e-learning, right? Where the classroom things comes, right? I can tell you that on those classrooms you can have badges like 30 people badge, 40 people badge, where
Hmm.
instructor can join from remote and students can join from remote, right?
Hmm.
And they can have their learning experiences there. So the same platform can be extended not just for the admission to the next things which are going to run for the complete year.
Wow. And this is the same classroom setup. So are we showing this to the audience? The classroom setup and how they can use it?
I will try showing you something. Just give me a second.
and while you pull that up, I would like to share one experience with you, Rahul, of one of the leading universities in India
Mhm.
that is using the platform, and it's a step towards metaverse. You know,
Okay.
and just allow me to share my screen.
Sure.
Is my screen visible, Vandana? Can you confirm?
Not yet.
Is it visible now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is one of the top universities, Amrita. So this is the admission experience that we have created with them for them. This is an
Mm.
entry to their campus. Um, it could be a walkthrough, it could be just a video. We can work on that,
It's very
and
good.
so get a sense of getting into the campus, right?
Hmm.
And And from there, as we've just seen before in the video, you have programs offered, live counseling, webinars. So everything important that a student needs to know before they take admission is put in one place, right? So if I go to webinars, I have a complete library of these are the live webinars that are going, for example. These are the past sessions that you can see, right? And if you click on any live webinar, you can actually go inside the webinar. You can have a chat. You can experience the webinar live. So you can actually do this. And then if I go back to my programs offered, I get all the information about programs in one place. You know,
Simple. It's like simplicity. This is simplicity. This is a pure simplicity. You
right.
know,
So everything in one place is what I get, all my admission related information. And if I go back to live counseling, once I've made up my mind, I can actually go to the live counseling booth, book an appointment, or if they're available, the counselors are available, I can meet them right away. Now, to this is like all a student needs, you know, uh, everything in one place. And to this, now we are adding a layer of AI avatars that can talk to you, that can handle your admission queries. Because when we work with institutions, we also see them facing this difficulty. When it's admission time, they bring their professors on board, the admission counselors on board to talk to students, and you put two of them, five of them, seven of them. There's, you always need more. So with an AI avatar, you
Absolutely.
can actually take care of most of the queries at the first level, and for rest of them, you can have a appointment booked with the counselor. So you're nowhere compromising with the student experience, even if you're not available.
Hmm.
amazing.
Absolutely. The solutions that we have talked about today are making universities so approachable and so accessible at a time when the faculty is actually the busiest during the admissions. And at that time, you're making a student to interact with a person who might be the HOD of their department in the metaverse. That
Right.
is where a lot of word of mouth happens in the student community. If I go and spend 30 minutes in a university's campus where I can see what their students are doing, what's the alumni network like, what kind of placements can I get, there's an AI counselor who's actively replying to all my queries. There's no chance by which I don't consider that university for an admission and I don't tell my friends about it. And that's the beauty of a metaverse. You get so much of a time share and a mind share of the student in their own world. So you're going in their own world to get
Right.
them to your college.
Right.
So I think that's beautiful to see
And
this today. And
just one thing, I would not like to take names because of confidential reasons, but one of
sure.
my customers has been using this platform. And in 9 months, we catered to 60,000 students.
Wow.
They stayed, they interacted, they attended webinars, and they spent hours and hours on the platform. So imagine during that crucial time, you are taking the student is taking out hours on your platform,
Hmm.
right? That's all you want. You are on their
That's
mind,
a huge deal.
top of their mind when they're considering 10 other universities,
Huge deal.
right? And you are
Big
making
deal.
them spend most of their time on your platform because it has everything that they want to know, right?
Hmm.
60,000 students in 9 months.
Absolutely.
That's how wonderful it can be.
Absolutely. I think
Big
it's
deal.
time that we should have metaverse campuses parallel to the physical campuses,
Very
you know.
very soon we are announced have big announcements to make very soon.
Great. That's
There is
that's
going to be times when I think I think the way I see it, and I still don't, for some reason, to be very practical, honestly, I really don't find it to be something very futuristic because so many students and so many colleges are already opting for it. One of the challenges I always face in our industry is that there's some people who keep trying out things. ibentos is one company is just not trying out. They have gotten this right for the client. The clients are speaking about it. In our industry in XR, generally what would happen is somebody would come and say, "Hey, I'm trying out doing something in education sector." I'll say, "Okay, show it to me." And then I see some PPT. I said, no, no, no. Meeting was about the metaverse. I said, no, no, no. We haven't loaded that on the Amazon. Okay. Meaning you don't have it. Here is the company who's done it, proved it. Their clients speaking about it have got 100,000 or more students collectively only in this call that I'm hearing. More than 100,000 students have collectively been on the platform. Admissions have happened 50%, excuse me, 80% savings, 5 times return. This is not a joke. This is not something which is selling. I think it's all about mind share. We got to have these education people come over, sit down on the desk, have them go spend 30 minutes, say, you know what? Sit down here, take a look at what others doing, and start small
And
like we always.
we are actually doing that. I mean, I was coming to that. We are actually having an education XR day at the Metaverse Experience Center here with ibentos, to have 25 education leaders from universities and e-learning services all across Delhi
Exactly.
NCR to come here at the Experience Center for 4 hours and discuss what's in it for them. What are the players like them, Bits Pilani, doing it in the metaverse? What's the ROI? And why should any university look towards it? So we do have those session planned. And thank you so much today on this LinkedIn Live for your time. We have been doing these events virtually, but this time, the next time we meet, we are going to have a physical session with the metaverse and the virtual reality solutions in the experience center for all of us. Thank you so much till then for your time. Before I let you go, quick message from each one of you for the education leaders before they step into the metaverse experience center. Over to you, Jaspinder.
No, my message remains the same, that there is no option between whether I should do it or I shouldn't do it. The option is
Absolutely.
only whether I want to do it now or I want to catch up later. Period.
Hmm. Very good.
Amazing.
Very affirmative. Very
Harpreet,
affirmative.
over to you.
I think I always believe that be there where your customers are, right? So if you're targeting students, if you're targeting Gen Z, you need to give them experience which they love to be the part of, right? And these immersive technologies, these AI chatbots, or metaverse experiences, that's where they are spending their time. They are spending their time mostly on games, right? We are saying gamify your learning experience, right? So it is always good, go towards the area where the your you know I would say the low hanging fruit is. So that's what my message to the institutions.
Wonderful.
Right. Rahul, over
Wonderful.
to you for our viewers who are
So,
so enthusiastic every time we go live. We keep comments coming up to us, and we also have some DMs that are lined up. So,
Correct.
over to you for
I
the
think
message.
I think today's session has been one of the longest. Generally, we would like to sort of finish that in 45 minutes. I'm seeing already an hour, but still there's so much to talk, so much to show. The reason why is because education is sector, particularly in India, is growing, is outgrowing. We have gotten these universities from across the world who are coming into India and setting up their bases. They need to go and attract students, and for attracting students, there cannot be a better way to do that in a 3D immersive world. I think one has to move away from those websites and those dear Facebook posts to really having something nice and cool for people to engage with the content for an hour or two, like Harpreet said. So if any institution listens into me, I welcome you very soon in person for having us to go showcase to you what is it that can be done within the metaverse at the Experience Center. And that XR Education Day is something I'm personally looking forward to. You know, so to all those who are listening in, please make some time out, and we'll reach out to them, of course, over the next few weeks. But looking forward, I think, and that word would really go out, because when we get the 20 people from couple of universities here, they come over and they listen in. University folks are the friends with the university people, right? Like everybody, doctors have doctors the friends, professors have professors the friend. I mean, Christine is saying there's no turning back, and she is also one of the fans like myself of Eventos. So this is the time to be. So I'm hoping that all of the people who are going to come in here at the XR Education Day are the ones who are going to become our mascots for taking the word out to the global university, space as well. So, but overall, thank you very much for the wonderful session. I think that people having those comments and those messages That really made this session wonderful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thank you to all the viewers for tuning in. And thank you, Harpreet and Jaspinder, for taking out your time. Thank you, Rahul, for this
Always a
wonderful
pleasure.
platform.
Always a
Thank
pleasure. I
you.
love your
Pleasure is all
dedication.
ours.
I love your dedication. I salute it. I salute your dedication. My God, I'm telling you, I haven't met anybody like you. So God bless you all. Okay, and look forward. Look forward. Thank you.
Thank
Absolutely. Have a
you.
great day. See you
Bye
next
bye.
time.
Bye.